Everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys a lot. Today, I have something that I wanted to show you guys, which I feel is a small clue that's drawing us closer and closer to some of the elements that we're going to see in Gotham Knights. Now, if at the end of this video you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to hit the like button. It will definitely help out with the promotion of the video and also making sure other people can see the content. So I've been scratching and racking my brain trying to find some of the literature where Warner Brothers Games Montreal is pulling a lot of the story tropes from to bring Gotham Knights together as a coherent narrative. Now, they have mentioned that they've brought together a lot of different narrative pieces and actually put them to form a coherent story that's unique to their own take. In fact, in the Games Radar article that was released just a few days ago, Patrick Redding said they went to Warner Brothers and sat down with them and talked to them about their unique take, and they were given the green lights to go ahead and double down on this unique take. But here's where the issue is. It's very challenging to kind of see where the story arcs are coming from if you don't look at the clues, and so far we only have one gameplay footage and a reveal trailer. Now, these have actually provided a lot of information for the community, but so far so good. I think I may have found a character that is a somewhat of a minor background character who does play some critical roles in the other Batman literature that is showcased in this reveal trailer that you're seeing on footage here. And I think she may be the clue to a lot of the questions that we've been asking, which are the villains that may be in Gotham Knight. Now, I was just watching this particular trailer, and it was really interesting that this particular character popped up. Her name is Renee Montoya. Renee Montoya is a GCPD officer that is showcased in some of the literature of the Batman universe. In fact, specifically the Batman Nightfall universe. In fact, you see her here on the screen where she basically is communicating in Batgirl's comms and talking to her. In fact, she says something about, I hear that you guys are having fun out there. And Batgirl says, if only you can call this fun. And she gives them a little, bit of some tips and pointers. Now, this is in stark contrast to what we know from the reveal trailer, where Batman is even telling the Knights that it's hard for us to trust anybody in Gotham, in GCPD, pretty much, since Jim has, basically, passed away. And in the Nightfall comics, I think in her story, something does basically happen. And what's his name? She actually is in the Gotham City, police department as one of the investigators. And it's actually really cool, because I was able to go back and track where she was and actually look at a lot of the different narratives around her. And another thing that I feel like you can glean from this particular character is not only the fact that, she's a friend of the Bat family, but the other villains that are with her storyline. I genuinely think that these villains are not out of the question for Warner Brothers Games Montreal to actually explore. In fact, one of such villains is Bane. The Nightfall comics actually do highlight heavily Bane on pretty much, as a character and a big, huge nemesis to Batman. Now, if you guys remember and want to think back at a Bane trope, you have to pretty much visit the game Batman Arkham Origins. Bane was a huge character there, and he was a big nemesis to Batman himself. In fact, if you guys can remember, he basically almost kills Alfred. I mean, he rocks Batman's world, in a very interesting way. It's not just a normal meeting that Batman has with Bane. It's a very interesting one where Batman is basically shaking to, he's shaking to his toes. Like, he's basically in a place where, he doesn't really know what to expect from this particular character. I was thinking to myself, man, this Bane really did shake Batman even more than the Joker did in Arkham Origins. And that was a very cool trope. It was a very cool and interesting aspect to the game to be able to see Bane actually get showcased in that light. And I think genuinely that, you know, if the developers of Warner Brothers Games Montreal are going to be bringing different tropes from different comics, they already have shown us that the Court of Owls 52 tropes are going to be in the game. And I think the very next place is the Batman Nightfall storyline. I think this is where things are really going to take an interesting turn, and we're most likely going to see Bane. In fact, right now, I would say assumption or predictive meter for Bane character has just reached an 80%. At first, I was kind of suspicious, thinking, there's like a 40% chance that Bane will show up, but now it is actually much more likely because there's a huge story event that happens between this GCPD officer, Renee Montoya, the Batman himself, and Bane. Now, again, I have to also mention that this game does not necessarily seem to focus a lot on Batman, but on the Bat family. But nonetheless, I think there are ways to be able to tie in characters who have dealt with the Batman to make them, you know, available as a challenge for the Gotham Knights. Obviously, the Gotham Knights don't necessarily have their own villains that are basically their arch nemesis that are well established. Yes, they do have some sub villains, you know, small scale villains that are actually kind of messing with them, but largely they have to face iconic characters to really flesh out the game. I mean, obviously we've seen Mr. Freeze being shown in this particular reveal, so that should be no surprise. And I don't think if we were to perhaps see somebody like Bane, it should surprise us. I think if anything, it will be really neat and interesting to be able to fight against him and to be able to take on him in a game like this. So this is really interesting. I'm running around trying to find a collection of the Nightfall. I'm thinking if I should get it digital or if I should get a paper copy of it. I usually like getting digital because I can take them anywhere, so I'll probably end up doing that. And I'm ready to delve in to start seeing if we can find more data and more information to try to peel apart this game. But ladies and gentlemen, this is really cool stuff, man. I mean, I think they packed that trailer with so much information that as you know, the excitement was on, we may have missed it. To think that one GCPD officer will basically hold potentially some of the keys to the information and the data that we're looking for, you know, is quite interesting that they actually did that. And so it's pretty cool to just see exactly how all of this is going to come together. But again, I appreciate you guys' time and audience. Thank you very much for watching the video. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think that the Nightfall, source material can play a role in Gotham Knights? I genuinely believe so. I mean, with a GCPD officer like this in the picture, I definitely think that we're going to be seeing some things from that narrative brought into this game, because now the developers and the story writers have actually opened the door for us to be able to draw and interpolate multiple storylines as potentially showing up in the Gotham Knights game. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to hit the like button or join the Video Game Fight School community. I appreciate you so much. Thank you once again, and hopefully we'll see in another video. Peace out.